don't even bother watching another video about the Bollinger Bands because this is the only video that you'll ever need. I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars purely understanding how the Bollinger Bands works. And in today's video, I'm going to share everything. Stay tuned. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Watch until the end because you guys are going to learn valuable insights that you can use for the rest of your life. I hope you enjoy. So simply, this is all the Bollinger Band really is. This is the 20 exponential moving average. And both of these blue lines are the 2 standard deviations above the 20 exponential moving average, and then 2 standard deviations below the exponential moving average. The reason why the Bollinger Bands are so pivotal and they are so important, guys, is because algorithms, hedge funds, and banks use the Bollinger Bands to determine where price should be. Okay? So if a stock is trading outside of the lower or the upper Bollinger Band, if it's trading completely outside of it, the stock should be returning within the mean, meaning it should be returning within the 2 ranges of the Bollinger Band, to the up and the downside. This makes trading on the Bollinger Band so simple because you get a clear-cut understanding and a read that, okay, clearly we're trading below the Bollinger Bands, the market should be bouncing. Or clearly we're trading above the Bollinger Bands, the market should be pulling back. So you can use these instances as a clear-cut directional trade that not many people understand how to use. So in this video, I'm going to go in depth and describe in detail exactly how to use these as trades, okay? So number 1, the first rule with the Bollinger Band and anything that I'm going to teach you from now on with the Bollinger Bands, this only works best on the large ETFs, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000, and the Magnificent 7 large tech stocks. So this only works on the largest ETFs and the largest tech stocks, okay? You can have random penny stocks where a stock is trading outside of the upper level of the Bollinger Band and it'll just continue rising. Or we're trading outside of the lower band on a random penny stock and it'll just continue falling. The reason for that is because algorithms and banks are not as heavily invested in the trading dynamics or the trading mechanisms to maintain a healthy trading environment on those random penny stocks. They are heavily invested in the S&P 500, in the NASDAQ 100, in Apple, Meta, Google, Tesla. You get the point. They're not heavily invested in a random Joe Schmo company that has 50 million market cap. Okay? So what I'm going to teach you in this video, number 1, it only greatly applies to these large ETFs and the largest tech stocks on the market. Okay? The bigger the stock, the larger the market cap of the stock, the ETF, the higher the probability that the Bollinger Bands will work. Okay? So that's number 1. Number 2, the easiest way to trade the Bollinger Bands is by looking at the longer time frames, meaning the larger time frames, and trading it when it's trading outside of the lower level of the Bollinger Band. Let's go in detail here. So this is the chart of the S&P 500. When you are trading outside of the upper level of the Bollinger Band here, this denotes extreme strength. It means that buyers, hedge funds, banks are piling in to the long side. Obviously, there are different mechanisms and there's different places in general. Oh, wow. Are we at an all-time high? Are we bouncing from lows? Are we in a multi-year rally? Are we just going to continue? All of these things play into a factor, okay? But in general, when you're trading outside of the upper bands, what I was just saying is, wow, okay, we need to return back inside the Bollinger Band. Generally, when you're trading outside of the upper bands, trying to go short is not the answer. Generally, it is not the answer. You have to be very, very good at trading and understanding where the market wants to go to try to short when you're outside of the upper bands. You don't need to know shit. You don't need to. You almost don't need to know anything. If you're trading outside of the lower bands, you almost don't need to know anything. You can be very, very a beginner at trading, because at the lows, right, when the market is trading outside of the lower bands, automatically hedge funds, banks, algorithms pick up on this and they begin to buy the dip. It is a well-known fact across the board. Buyers step in as soon as any of these large tech stocks, as soon as the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, the Russell, the Dow Jones, gold, silver, when they're trading outside of the lower bands. It could be even the large ETFs of other countries. When they are trading outside of the lower level of the Bollinger Bands, they begin to buy the dip. So in this instance, when you're trading outside of the upper bands, oftentimes we can continue falling, right? We're going to go a bit more in detail about this as well. Oftentimes we continue falling. But the more times that we open and close outside of the bands while continuing to fall lower, the higher the probability chance that we end up bouncing aggressively. So always, when you're trading outside of the lower bands, begin to start thinking about buying the dip, and begin, especially if you're trading options, begin to think longer term into buying a longer term position, okay? Instead of trying to go short as you're trading outside of the upper bands, because trying to go short tends to be much more difficult and you have to time things much better. It's much more difficult. So this was back in February of 2025. We were trading outside of the lower bands. We returned back in. Then we traded outside. Then we returned back in. We were basically hugging the lower bands this entire time. When you're hugging the bands like this, price does tend to rebound, but these are not really aggressive V-shaped recovery rebounds, right? So in that instance, you have to be very, very clear and safe in terms of trying to aggressively go long. But in April, we went long on April 7th, right here. Let me make this very clear. We went long right here. We bought the dip on April 7th. And the reason for that is because we had multiple days. We had multiple days where we opened and closed outside of the lower level of the Bollinger Band. That also plays a very, 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 very big role in whether or not a stock wants to bounce or not, okay? So when a stock is trading for multiple days in a row, for example, on April 3rd, opened and closed outside of the bands. April 4th, opened and closed outside of the bands. Then on April 7th, we opened even lower and we still closed outside of the bands 3 times in a row. That is extreme overextension. Even if you get 2 days in a row, if you get 2 days in a row where you're opening and closing outside of the bands, that is extreme overextension. You can buy calls for 1 month expiration, and it almost always ends up being profitable. You could take that to the bank. There has only been one instance in 2006, 2007, towards the beginning of the crash, where we had 2 or 3 days in a row to the downside, and it took a little bit longer than a month for us to bounce. But even then, every single time ended up being a monstrous bounce. So keep that in mind. If you get 3 days in a row to the downside, this ends up being a monstrous bounce to the upside. Now, you could use this on the daily time frame. You could use this on the weekly time frame. You could even use this on the smaller time frames as well for day trading. So when you're day trading, This is a chart of the S&P 500 futures, 24-hour chart, right? It's a 15-minute time frame. You can use the Bollinger Bands when you're day trading as well, because this shows extreme overextension. So this is from August 14th. Multiple days where we're trading outside of the lower bands. We closed. One open and close. One open and close. What is that? That's 2. The third candle, we opened outside of the lower bands. What ended up happening? We aggressively bounced. The Bollinger Bands, purely, if you just wait for just this setup, one of the highest quality setups I've ever seen is if you just simply wait for the Bollinger Band to be trading outside, for the stock to be trading outside of the lower bands for multiple opens and closes, it becomes almost a surefire guarantee that we're going to end up bouncing. And this is something that I wish everyone knew, because this is such an amazing tool and such an amazing insight. Because if you weren't using the Bollinger Band, right, and you see a giant red candle like this, okay, let's just take the Bollinger Band off the chart. We see a giant red candle like this. Oh my goodness, this is bearish, guys. Whoa, this is really bearish. You know what we should do? Because we're bearish, let's try to re-short into strength. That's the logical thing to do, right? By all means, that is the logical thing to do. You want to go short. You want to go short at a level of resistance. So you're just going to try to go short. Oh, oops, big green candle. Sorry, it didn't work out. Let's try to go short again. Oops, big green candle. My shorts got stopped out. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go short again. Oh, oops. If you had the Bollinger Band on, you would clearly know that when you are trading outside of the lower bands, it gives an added insight. It shows you more in depth of what's going on with the market. And instead of trying to, the other thing, when you're trading this overextended to the downside, no matter how bearish a situation looks, for example, this is like a red candle. This is the 618% fib of this large red candle, right? So this, on paper, is a good spot to go short. Do not ever lean short when we are bouncing out of extreme overextension on the Bollinger Band. Every dip, the first dip especially, tends to be a very good buying opportunity. Okay? So one of the easiest trades, once again, on the lower time frames, on the daily time frame, on the weekly, the monthly, the 15-minute, 5-minute, multiple day, multiple candles in a row. When you're trading outside of the lower bands, when the candle opens and closes in a row, tends to be one of the easiest long opportunities you can ever make. And genuinely, guys, the Bollinger Band is genuinely one of my favorite indicators for this exact reason, because so many algorithms, so many banks and hedge funds use this tool, and they automatically begin buying. They have scanners. They have, they are scanning for the market for setups like this constantly across all of these large stocks and ETFs, everything. They're looking for this setup because algorithmically, the market should be bouncing back in. So this is just something that is a really amazing trade, amazing opportunity, and just keep that in mind. Anything above two or more, good buying opportunity. Definitely time to start leaning long, and especially when you do start showing this much weakness to the downside outside of the lower bands, not the time to go short. It's instead the time to start leaning long. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to go more in detail with the rest of my videos. If you guys want access to all of my trades, every single time I'm entering and exiting any single trade, I have over a 90% success rate month over month. The proof is in the pudding. You guys gain access to my trades with the link in my bio. You guys gain access to all of my indicators, my thought process of what's going on in the market, everything all in between. So if you guys want access to all of those things, make sure to click the link in my bio, and I will see you guys in the room. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take care. Have a good one.